Welcome back into another episode of Infamously Speaking, the show that's fueled by faith. Quan shirts inspired me, and I'm so glad to be back. I want to appreciate. Actually, I want to call something out real quick. Actually, two things. Number one, obviously, no show last week. My family and I were traveling. We're looking for our new home. Thank God we found our new home. We're going to be moving in a couple of months. So that's why we had no show last week. Second thing I want to call out is the Knicks are back. Woo!
Oh, the Knicks are back is crazy.
Knicks are back. Man, I'm telling you what. Actually, I'm not going to say anything. That's all. I'm going to leave it there. Because everybody knows what the Knicks are, right? It feels like sometimes they're just an accident waiting to happen. You start getting too confident and things go sideways. So I don't want to look like the crazy guy out here, but like super exciting times there. Anyways, Quan, my guy, how's it going?
Going great, man. There's a couple things I want to say. First is the fuel by faith. I got a great story for you. Repairing my relationship with my mom, strengthening my relationship with God. It's like, you know what? We're going to go to church. So my mom pulls up to the crib and I got to drive to church, which is fine. Only thing is I realized that I forgot to get gas the night prior. So the light's already on. And my mom's like, son, we're going to run out of gas. And I said to my mom, I said, Mom, I don't run on gas. I run on
Boy.
God. And she's like, well, she's like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to be stuck on the side of the road. I'm like, Mom, faith. Faith, we're going to get there. And sure enough, we got there. And then she told the whole church about how we might not make it home, which is crazy, but it is what it is.
And saying shout out to your moms, man. I love the fact that y'all doing that together.
Yeah.
That's super inspiring. Listen, faith in action. I'm sure everybody that's listening to the story, whether you believe in God or not, has been in that situation before. You're like, God, just please let me make it to the gas station.
Yeah.
Just because you're like, the car is telling me it's not going to make it, and I'm not trying to push this thing for 5 miles.
Yeah.
But, man, I'm excited to be back. There's a couple things I want to talk about. Not going to be too heavy onto the sports, even though, man, these conference finals have been incredible. Shout out again to the Knicks fans. And we got an all-time classic game one. I know we were talking about it before the show, but, man, how good is Wemby, bro?
Wemby.
How good is Wemby?
That's what it was. Generational talent. That was the phrase I wanted to use. Like, I was asking Matt, and I'm curious on what our audience thinks, but to have the time frame, 10, 12 years, we was talking about the Spurs being a dynasty, and obviously Golden State was a big part. They took control of the league. But San Antonio right back in the mix with a potential dynasty on the cusp is kind of crazy. Like, so soon.
Insane, dog.
It reminds me of the Patriots, right? Like, we had our run, crazy dynasty, then we had a few year layoff, which also reminds me to the Knicks, because I'm happy for the Knicks, because there's no better place for disappointment than losing in the chip. And I can say that because we were just in the chip and we lost. So I think that's just part of my hard feelings rubbing off, and just
man,
wanting to see some of my friends and
listen.
Shout out to G-Mo.
Yeah, shout out G. Shout out G-Mo, diehard Knicks fan. Maybe one of the only people on the planet that really believed the Knicks were going to beat the Celtics last year.
I don't know if he really believed. I mean, he really was convincing. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, I think he did. Shout out to him because I didn't. I didn't think they were going to beat him. But I love how everybody's writing off. I mean, whoever wins the East, and it looks like it's going to be the Knicks right there, up 2-0. They've been playing incredible basketball, won 9 in a row, and they're just beating down opponents at a historic clip. Everybody's writing the winner of the East off. Whoever wins this Western Conference, either the Spurs or the Thunder, is going to absolutely handle whoever comes out of the East. And I've been thinking about it, man, and there's a couple things, right? Like, obviously, the Thunder, I think, would be
Do
the
not
tougher
do
matchup for
this.
either team, right? No, I'm gonna do it. I know I said we're not gonna talk a lot of sports, but I wanted to get this point out because I've been listening to a lot of commentary. Right? I think the Thunder would be the tougher matchup, and strictly because of the fact that they've been there before, right? And I think you're gonna see that experience really shine throughout this Western Conference Finals. I think they're gonna end up winning the Western Conference because of that experience. We see that especially in the NBA, these young cores, they typically don't win right away, right? They need to have this playoff run. And honestly, I'm trying to think of like super young cores, and the only one that I could think of was that Thunder team, right? KD, Harden, yeah, Westbrook, Ibaka, that made it to the finals, that or made it this far, they made it to the finals when they were this young. But typically, they don't win right away, right? You gain experience through the playoffs. But let's say the Spurs were to win. I like the Knicks' chances against the Spurs. I like them less against the Thunder, but I like the Knicks' chances against the Spurs. So
Yeah, you're bugging.
don't count out the Knicks. Now, why am I bugging?
Do
Why am I
not bring
bugging?
up the cup. Are you gonna bring up the cup?
I'm not bringing out the cup. Where'd you see
You was
me say
gonna
that?
you was gonna bring up the cup.
No, it's experience. And I told you this. Was it before last show, after last show? Maybe we talked when we were talking about the Knicks, and I told you like I feel different about them this year than I did last year because of the way that they can win in different ways, right? Where it's either if it's Jalen Brunson hero ball, which that was the formula last year, whether it's Cat really being the hub or the facilitator of the offense, kind of like a point center, whether it's Jalen Brunson like we saw last night when he's getting aggressively doubled and trapped, being a top tier facilitator and enabling his teammates to be better, especially when people like Josh Hart are hitting shots. That wasn't, and of course their depth, right, which was the kind of the bane of the Thibodeau era. Their ability to win in different ways is not something that we've seen out of previous Knicks teams, and that's why that's why I like their chances. That's why their ability to adjust between and within games has been incredible. And so that's why I like the chance. I think they're extremely well coached. And I think I told you this, right? But since JB's joined the Knicks, him and Shea have identical, almost close to identical postseason stats per game averages, which probably surprises a bunch of people, but that's just how good he is. So just throwing that out there, man. A lot of people
Can we
clowning whoever comes out the East.
can we have a let me ask you something. Because that sounded really good. Like that
You like
sounded very
that?
detailed. It sounded like you took time to like, do some research, but also really uh dissect the game and what you're seeing out there on the court. But if I was to tell you, Matt, you have one chance to get this right, or something tragic may happen,
Who
who
am
are
I
you
picking?
taking? Yes.
Yeah, I'm picking whoever comes out of the West.
Exactly. Exactly. That sounded good. You had
But
a compelling argument to say the least, but
yeah,
it's bullshit.
but
You know what I love? This is what I love. And this is the truth, right? Like I love Knicks fans. I love the entertainment they bring after every game. I love the fact that they took over Philly. Like I could
mhm.
appreciate that, and I respect that. So shout out to Knicks fans, and I know you're gonna say some outlandish, wildish shit to me because
Wild shit.
that's kind of what Knicks fans do. It's fine. It's fine. I could live with that. But I'm also realistic, and there's no way they're beating one of these teams in OKC or San Antonio. Mind you, it looks like OKC is about to take a 2-1
2-1
series
series
lead.
lead. Listen, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is people are saying like it could never happen. Like I think I saw a lot of shit where it's like whoever wins the West, it's gonna be them in 5. I don't think they're winning in 5. I don't think that happens.
Yeah, I could give I could give Knicks more than one game, but
And God
does it
forbid the
matter?
Knicks
You
take
win
one
by
in the
5.
road.
You win by. Does it really matter?
Doesn't matter what.
Let's just say it's fucking OKC. Does it matter if they win in 5 or in 6 or in 7 or a sweep?
For OKC, no, maybe not. I think for the Knicks it does how they win.
Why?
Because it just tells you how close or not close you are. So
Doesn't
if,
matter
for
though.
example, if I lose and they lose in 7, and it's a hard fought series, then they might not be as inclined to make a super drastic move to go acquire some kind of talent, right? Where if they
I
get
get what you're saying.
absolutely boat raced in 4 and it's not even close, then they're gonna be like, "Whoa, we're not even close to competing." You get what I'm saying? Because
I
like
do, but let me play, let me throw a little wrench in there. I hear what you're saying, because now you don't have to necessarily move a lot of pieces, go get Giannis or whatever the case may be, right? You have
mhm.
a solid foundation that you feel like you have great chances of winning because you're that close. I understand what you're saying, but realistically, from the time that the season ends to the time of when you're getting back there, a lot can happen. Like a lot between
For sure.
injuries and all that, right? So like nothing's a guarantee,
No,
right?
nothing's a
So you're
guarantee.
not even with a
Yeah.
core that lasts to game 7, there's a great chance. I would probably take the over. Was it right? Is it the over? That the Knicks won't go back. That's a
Yeah,
difficult task, right? Like it's not easy to
absolutely.
get back to the chip,
Back.
as you can
No,
see.
100%. I mean, when was the last? What was the last team to go back to, not even to win it? I think it was the Warriors, right? That the KD Steph Warriors that went back to back finals appearances. Because I'm thinking back,
Yeah, I would think
I
so.
think it was
It's
that
gonna be
team.
OKC, I think, this year though.
Yeah. OKC would break that back to back finals appearances. Um, I get what you're saying. I think the only here's how I would look at it as a Knicks fan, right? To your point, and this kind of helps your point is the Knicks are it's a roster of pretty established veteran players, right? Like, do we think that anybody, if they're not already at their ceiling or their peak or their prime or maxed out their potential on the Knicks roster, do we think that another year they're gonna get better, become better players? I don't know, right? Like if you think about the Spurs, incredibly young, Wemby, Castle, Dylan Harper. That's an incredibly young core. So with
Yeah.
time and experience, yeah, they're gonna get better. So I get what you're saying too. I just feel like if you get absolutely smacked in the finals in 4, then you got to the finals, but you didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't compete. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think they're gonna go out like that. I really don't. Just this is a different vibe than the other teams. Yeah, the team last year came back from 20 down 22 times. Incredible. But it was all playing the same kind of basketball. And the way that Mike Brown is coaching them, Knicks took a gamble. It was brought him back to the first ECF in over 2 decades, and they moved on from him. And Mike Brown's been coaching these guys up. Everybody's bought in. Everybody's embracing new roles on the fly. I'm telling you, man, I feel like I'm on a team. Maybe I'm just trying to talk myself into it, but
That's exactly what you're doing.
here's the thing, Quan. I need you to understand this. It's probably gonna be hard for you to understand because you're a Patriots fan. You saw all 6 of those chips, and they're of recent memory. Um, I don't even know who you like for baseball, but let's just say you like the Red Sox. Well, they won a couple in recent memory. The Bruins, if you like hockey, they've won one in recent memory. The Celtics, obviously, even though you're a Magic fan, you're like a Boston Magic fan. They just won a couple years back. So for you, you've seen a lot of winning recently. This is the best Knicks team of my lifetime that I could remember, right? Because I wasn't obviously the 99 Knicks. I was like 3. I don't remember that. So right now, Knicks fans that are my age, like in the 25 to 30-year-old age bracket, this is the best Knicks team we've seen in our lifetimes. Jalen Brunson is the best Knick we've ever seen, right? Actually play live. Like we're watching that unfold right in front of us. And it's hard to fathom. But I want to get excited about it. And so like people are like, this guy, man, he's crazy. I'm trying to talk myself into thinking the Knicks are going to win against an extremely loaded Thunder team or extremely high ceiling Spurs team. But I think it's possible. I really do.
You don't. You
I
don't. I
do.
just told you put
I do. What, listen,
cut it out.
if I'm being
Let
an
me tell you
unbiased
something.
analyst, would I pick the defending champs, especially if they knock off the Spurs and it doesn't go like if it goes 5, if they win in 5 or 6 and they come out unscathed, no major injuries, even though J-Dub didn't play tonight, I don't believe, right? He was out with injury. Like if they're fully healthy, does the unbiased me trying to make a pick fake analysts think the Thunder are better? Absolutely. But I can make a fan pick.
I'm not mad at it. In fact, I prefer you to do that. But
like, goddamn, Scott don't let me live. He's not letting me live. You're not letting me live, bro.
No, I'm trying to save you from looking foolish and heartbreak. I'm watching them, right? And they're playing good, right? A good defense, like that's cool. They're playing the Cavs, bro. They're not even. Cavs was the 4th seed in the East.
Yeah, Cavs are the 4th seed. I get it.
This year, the East was weak, bro. Number 1 seed in Detroit. Trash.
I get it. I get it.
Who was the 2 seed?
Boston.
Yeah, injured Boston.
Injured Boston. Tatum was healthy.
Was 100. Tatum was not 100%, bro.
He shouldn't have been out there.
He shouldn't have.
He shouldn't have been.
Even at 100%, he shouldn't have. No,
this team wasn't as. This team wasn't as good though. This team wasn't nearly as good as last year's team. They just needed any kind of big. I'm gonna say this, bro, because if you can make the same argument for the East last year, right?
Yeah,
the Pacers beat the Cavs. The Pacers took the Thunder 7. And who knows what happens if Halliburton doesn't pop his Achilles?
Thank you. You just proved it again.
Anything can happen.
You just proved it again. They went 7. Where are they?
They didn't win.
No, where were they? Where were they?
What do you mean, where were they?
Playoffs and stuff.
What seed were they? Oof. They were the 5th seed maybe last year.
So that just goes to my point of like whether the Knicks make it, which they probably will. I think they're going to take care of Cleveland. But let's say they make it and go game 7 against OKC.
They were the 4th seed. My bad. They were the 4th seed.
No, they're not, because the Cleveland's 4th seed.
No, sorry. The Pacers were the 4th seed last year. I said they were the 5th seed last year. Yeah.
Last year. But my point being is like, it sounds good. Similar to your commentary and your depiction of what
you got to play the games, bro. You got to play the games. The games have to be played. And I said, listen, we both watched enough sports to know that anything can happen.
I'm telling you right now, I watched enough NBA basketball where the Knicks, they don't have a chance of winning the whole thing.
I'm not willing to go that far. Not even close to that far. That they don't even have a chance? You telling me they go in? So let me tell you something. Let me ask you something. They go in, whoever they play, and because they're going to start on the road, right? The Spurs and the Thunder both had a better record. So whoever wins the West is going to have home court advantage in the finals. The Knicks go in and take one of those games, 1 or 2.
They don't have a chance, bro. They don't have a chance.
You're bugged. They got a chance, B. You're bugged. You're absolutely bugged. And what? Give me any kind of. In what way do they not have a chance?
And for those listening, this show is fueled by faith, clearly, because there's no.
Don't make me do it and completely say that. You know what? I'm going Knicks in 6. I'll go
cut it out.
Close it out of the Garden? Yo, close it out of the Garden would be crazy.
The only way that's possible if they bring Lynn Sanity back.
This guy got the. You get a cup, yo.
It's not a 2-liter. It's one.
I know, it's like one of 1.5 shits. Yeah.
Nah,
this guy brought a 40 of Coke to the show.
It's
Boss moves. We spent way too much time talking about basketball right there, but
we could chop that up.
We chopped that up.
It was good. It was good too. It was good content.
all I'm gonna say is this. I'm gonna reiterate it. We can move on. Anybody that's 30 or younger, that's a Knicks fan, like a real Knicks fan. Let me tell you something, because a lot of people are gonna be like bandwagon Knicks fans. If you wasn't watching the Knicks when it was like Lance Thomas and Alonzo Trier and Langston Galloway and Lou Andmanson and like that's all those years when we was winning 20 games a season, I was still locked in. So I'm not saying this as no casual Knicks fan. This is the best Knicks team of our lifetimes. And it's good. Like this is gonna go down as an all-time great Knicks team, and it's gonna be great when they cap it off with a chip and bring a parade back to New York. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm
Bro,
saying.
can I give you a good analogy to what you just said?
Yeah.
That's when you hear Bills fans be like, yeah, that Bills team we had, we went to 3 chips and didn't win shit. Same thing.
It's different.
You're not achieving that goal, the ultimate goal. But you know what? I'm gonna let you have that. I hope you guys win and you start naming streets after them players again. Like that's
Oh,
what I
I
want
don't
to
give a
see.
shit. I'm glad they didn't do that after round 2 this year.
I think they learned their lesson.
They sure did. I think they were like, all right, you know what? Beating Boston, that was like our Eastern Conference. That was like our finals last year. They, you think about they assembled the team. Well, no. I'm not talking about for me. That's how it was treated. That's how it was treated, like it was the finals.
Yeah, but the way you're talking about this Knicks team now is similar to how their mindset was. Like, even what you just said, that was their Eastern. That's like you saying last year, and I'm not saying you said this, but that's like you saying last year, oh, we beat Boston, so now going into next year, we have full confidence we can win it all.
No, you don't think that. Well, I wouldn't say you don't think that. You definitely feel better about it. But again, it's also about how it ends. Like how I was talking about, if they get swept, massive changes. Like, number one, and I think this is what's happening to the Cavs, losing that game, how we did game 1,
Yeah.
that
It's
was it.
deflating. Yeah, it's
We
deflating.
talked about it. We was like, that was the series. I think I texted you after. I'm like, we're cooked. We're cooked.
All right.
Like we can't.
Let's move on, right? I'm in excruciating pain. Now, let me give you a reason why. Other than having to hear your 20-minute banter about how the Knicks are really gonna just get cooked in the finals.
Are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. Go ahead, man. Just go.
You know, I text you a plethora of pictures from my walk.
Yes.
And I walked. There's a reason why I walked, right? I could have jogged. There was a few times I jogged, but I wouldn't say I went for a jog. I purposely walked because I wanted to take time to myself and just collect my thoughts as much as possible and be outside because it was finally nice out. I didn't realize how nice it was outside until 2 hours in, and my shoulders was cooked from being in the sun.
Damn.
Yeah, so I walked for about 7.5 miles, right? And it was great. It was great to finally be like outside again, enjoying the weather, the scenery, like I said, taking pictures, and being active. Funny story is, about 3.5 miles in, I was like, yo, this pre-workout gave me the bubble guts. And I was like, yo, I'm out in the middle of Norwich with nowhere to go. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to shit in someone's yard. But I didn't do it. Although if I had to do it, I'm like, just fertilizing your grass. But it didn't happen that way. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk to the casino because I don't know how, but I did it. I actually ended up walking all the way. I just accomplished my goal is what I'll say.
Side quest. This guy was all over Norwich.
Yeah, I was all over.
He was downtown. Well, you started from the crib, right? You started from your house?
Crib, yep.
So you was in your crib. You walked the downtown.
Wait.
Wait,
Go over.
so wait. Did you go to the west side first and then go downtown and then back to your
No,
house?
I
Or you
went
went
to
downtown? Okay.
Bacchus by Phillies, the
Yeah.
waterfall,
Yeah.
down it up to NFA, all the way down to where Ralph lives,
Damn.
town, by the marina. I
Wow.
walked I walked I walked through downtown, the roundabout, all the way up to the car wash, came back downtown for a different route, back through past the marina, up to West Side, through Dairy Queen, past the basketball courts, on your block. I went to
Jeez.
your block, hoping to run into one of your family members. They were inside enjoying the AC because it was hot as hell
You
out.
should have knocked on the door, bro. Like, I gotta take a shit, B.
I probably should have. I'd have been like you at the door in AC, like, I can't move. You gotta give me 10 minutes. It was rough. It was rough. And then I went down West Ames up to the casino, and I was like, yeah,
Damn.
my legs right now are because I've been working out. Don't get me wrong. Like, I've been staying active, but not like that
No, that's
intense
the
of,
truth, bro.
yeah, so it was
That's the
it
truth.
was a
So you went from all you took that whole journey, and then you went from the west side. You walked down 32 all the way to the casino, and then you walked across
yeah,
the New London Turnpike all the way back to the crib.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, you literally walked around Norwich.
You know what
The
the
only thing
funny
is,
thing is?
you just didn't
Here's
go
what the
deep
fun.
into Greenville.
No, so here's what my plan my plan was prior to me getting the bubble guts was I had to go to Foxwoods.
No fucking way. No fucking way were you walking.
Because you're saying no way, that's gonna be my next trip.
Hold on. Just for context, because obviously all of our listeners, we got listeners in different parts of the country. Not everybody's familiar with Southeastern Connecticut. But shout out to our people from the A60. How many miles is that? Your crib
It was about 10?
to Foxwoods.
About 10. That's not too bad.
Hold on. I'm going to get the exact mileage. 11 miles.
11.
You know how,
Say 11.
you know how long it says it's going to take you? Just if you
to
took
4
Route
hours?
2? Yeah.
Oh, two to Foxwoods, 3 hours, right? 3-4 hours?
4 hours, 38 minutes. This guy about to put a whole shift on Route 2.
I don't think it will take that long, bro.
Listen, this is just what the map says.
Of walking?
Yeah. Yo, that is a troop, bro. That's a
How many miles is that to Foxwoods?
It's 11.
Oh, I thought you calculated my route.
It is your route. Oh, no, your route that you just walked. No, I'm talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
right from your crib directly to Foxwoods.
And I gotta walk 11 miles back?
Yeah, 11 miles back. You talking
So
about
22 miles?
That was 9 hours round trip.
Nah, I'm definitely doing that now. I'm definitely doing that. I'm trying to think, right? Because for me, walking from my house to downtown is not bad, in my opinion. So now I'm thinking from downtown, because I gotta go past the post office and shit, right?
Yeah.
And I just walk straight the whole way.
It's a straight shot, pretty much.
Only thing that I was concerned about, if I'm being real, is there's no sidewalks I can recall.
Yeah, so you get smacked because cars fly on Route 2. But you got to think about it like this, right? That's 22 miles round trip. Just for reference, marathon is 26 miles. So you're only 4 miles short of walking a marathon. And that takes, on average, good athletes, 4 hours to run the marathon? So,
So that's a good challenge. I'm gonna take that challenge.
all right, brother. Just make
I'll
sure you
just
keep
bring
the
my phone
SOS
because I
on.
got a Uber or something, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Keep the flare gun handy.
That and a helmet. Imagine me walking around with a helmet, looking crazy. Yo, but here's the thing. So I told you about Oz, right? Oz, the mentalist. Yeah. So he was talking about marathons and running. I forgot what it's called, but I think it's called the 300. You ever seen the movie 300?
Yeah.
right? So that marathon, I guess, is the route they took to deliver that message or whatever it was. I forgot the length. You could probably look it up, but anyways, he was saying most of it is mental of you just pushing yourself. So that's a challenge I'm willing to accept. I'm working on that.
Nah, man, listen, I agree with you. I agree with you that it's all mindset. Cause I mean, you can even think about it related to goals in your life, right? Where say you want to lose 50 pounds, you try to lose it all in one shot, that's a lot of weight, right? If you just look at it that way. Or you could
Yeah.
break it down into more manageable pieces, but it's all your perspective. Well, if I just lose, 5 pounds a week, then it's only 10 weeks. Or if I lose 5 pounds every 2 weeks, it's only 20 weeks. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm breaking it down into manageable, bite-sized pieces. So I agree with you. It's just your mindset. Now, there's a physical toll when it comes to running a marathon, but I'm sure. I mean, I can't speak for them, but I'm not sure if you saw not too long ago the first ever sub 3 hour marathon in history was ran. Two people did it, which is insane. Like that's an insane, insane pace. But I'm sure they had to if when they first started running, the idea of a sub 3 hour marathon was unfathomable. But to your point, overcoming each barrier wherever they started and knocking off slowly shaving off time, shaving off time, shaving off time. If I just push myself a little bit more, I could get it. I'm sure that's how it needs to be approached. I'm just thinking about like whenever we were in the gym and it's like, yeah, I want to do, I want to I want to do chest presses with the 50-pound bells. Well, I'm not there yet. I just started. So I should probably start with the 20s or the 25s and I got to work my way up there. I'll eventually get there, but if I'm trying to do it in one shot, obviously it could be it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You know, I you know, I could be extreme, right? Clearly.
Yeah, we all know that.
So when you just brought it up, I'm like, all right, I'll try this week. Realistically, I shouldn't.
You shouldn't. No,
'Cause
you're right.
one, right now, my legs are fried. My legs are absolutely fried. And that last like mile, 2 miles, everything was hurting. My ankles was hurting, my knees was hurting, my calves was hurting, my hamstring. But mentally, I'm like, I gotta do it. I can't. There's no way I can't not do it now. I have to push through.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm gonna be just chilling over here the whole day. So
Right.
I have to do it, right? Like I put myself in a position where there's no other way around it. Um, but I also, because I've been watching things, right? Or whether it's things to push myself or positivity, right? Mentally going into it is like I'm going to have those moments, but I understand it's temporary. Like it's
Mm,
temporary. I know I'm gonna get through it. I gotta just push myself.
right. Yep.
So uh
Yep.
I think when you build that up, and that's why I'm not gonna do it this week, just to be clear. But I'm confident I will do it before the summer's up. Actually, I'm going to. There's no it's gonna
That's
happen.
fine.
And
That's
by the
fine.
end, I wanna have that confidence and that mentality of like this is even if it's not gonna be light work, it's gonna be achievable.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything is possible. I mean, you're right. Everything is temporary from the struggle that you're going through to the pain after, right? It's all temporary. It hurts, but it's a reminder that you did something worth doing.
Yes.
So I love that. One thing I did want to talk about, um, not necessarily related to that, but I love that you're able to turn that story of walking that was on a direction to nowhere into something very tangible. So that was good on your part.
Cool.
So I want to move on to something because I thought it was really interesting. I had this scenario at work this week where we're trying to onboard a new customer to a product that we're putting out. And if we get them fully onboarded and bought into the product, it'll be a major win for us. Major win. Talking about cost savings, more usage, which shows our value to the business, right? The more people that use our product, the better it is for us. And it got one of my coworkers was like, "Hey, Matt, like, I noticed that we're kinda going a little bit above and beyond what we would normally do with with this new customer than what we do with some of our existing customers." And I was like, "Yeah, because 'cause I'm kinda in, like, that nurturing phase with this person." Like, I'm trying to keep them in that honeymoon phase where they just love everything about what's going on. So then once they get fully enveloped in it and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna use this moving forward," and they start to learn more, we can kind of scale back a little bit since they know more. But what that got me thinking about was like in relationships, right? When you first get into a relationship with somebody and you're kind of in that like honeymoon phase, they call it, where like you guys are just perfect in each other's eyes and everything looks good and it just seems like everything is clicking. You're going above and beyond, bringing flowers, chocolates, you're talking all the time, right? Texting back and forth, can't get enough. And I was curious. I'm like, why is it that way? That there's that term of putting your best foot forward, right? And first impressions are everything. But I'm curious for this is my question to you. A, why do you think that's even a good thing? Like, do you think that's something that people should even do? Right? Is like almost be something that they're not in the
So
beginning to try to improve.
you just said exactly what I was going to say in the sense of there's nothing wrong with that if you're being who you are. If that's who you are, then I think that's perfectly fine because that's Matt. Matt does the chocolates. Matt does the flowers. Matt does the text and nonstop talking. If that's not who you are, you're putting up a facade that's not going to last, right? Uh, and we're talking relationship wise, which is the probably worst question you could ask me because I'm working on myself and all the things that I'm doing. But I think that also helps me bring clarity to that concept, if that makes sense, right? So, like, obviously, everything I've done didn't really work because I'm in the situation I'm in, right? So, learning from that, like I try to do, I feel like, yeah, of course I want to impress that person, but I don't want to be somebody I'm not. So, I'm going to do the things that either A, I want to do, or B, what I will continue to do throughout the relationship, right? Because if I start with the extra effort and it fades off, then it's like I was never true. It's almost like I'm tricking you, right? I'm putting up this false narrative of who I am, and I know that if what I'm looking for is long term, it lessens the chance of it being long term because now you fell in love with someone who I was portraying to be, but I'm really not. That makes sense?
Yeah, totally. But I feel like people consciously and really maybe more subconsciously than consciously try to highlight what's great about them, right? Because you're trying to impress this new person. But then also, I feel like people, and for right or wrong, like they want to see somebody that goes above and beyond, especially for them, right? Especially if you want this to go long term, because as we've learned, right, in long term relationships, that whole 50-50 shit, man, it's very rarely ever 50-50. It might only be in the beginning where it's 50-50, right? Where a lot of times, man, there's been days where it was like 90 my wife and 10 me and vice versa, right? Because we lean on each other. And it's not always going to be 50-50. Like I said, it's really rare. So it's like, if you don't see somebody going above and beyond, it's like, man, do I want to be with this person? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you rather see that up front than the back half of that, right? Because if you see that up front, then you know what you're getting into. You know what to expect. Where if it's the opposite way, you're putting all that effort up front, and you know what I want to do? I want to do this. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Or I just dropped this gem on a good friend of mine. Shout out to my guy Bug, who we was talking about relocating and going to different places, right?
Yeah.
And it was because of like the situations, right? You're good in a situation. You're great in a situation, and you're a little hesitant with the new situation. But then you're like, oh, there's less bullshit over here. There's less drama. There's more effort over here, right?
Mm, mm.
And I hit him with this. I said, bro, I learned this. I forgot where I got this from, but you know the term, the grass isn't always greener on the other side.
Yeah.
So I told him the grass isn't always greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it. So if you're putting that effort consistently,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? It's why are
I
you
get what you're
laughing?
saying. No, because I like that. That's a great answer. That's a great answer. You know, there's a Drake bar for that. It's like
Mm,
staring at somebody else's version of shit that makes another city seem more exciting than it is. Right? Where it's like when you're looking at somebody, life through somebody else's eyes, like we talked about on the show, like seeing other people's videos and pictures of their new house or their car, where they live. You're like, man, that looks great. I wish I could be there. And then if you actually end up making that switch, it's like, yo, damn, the same problems exist here as
correct.
they did back where I was. Because to your point, you're not watering it. You're not sowing any seed anywhere, right? So all you did, you had one piece of land, you didn't take care of it, you didn't do anything with it. So you're like, oh, and you're like, man, this shit ain't producing. So then you went and you moved somewhere else, but didn't change your behaviors, right? You didn't till the field, sow the seed, water, right? Make sure everything was good. Make sure that there was no pests eating up your crops. But you're expecting a different outcome, even though your input didn't change. So is it the land or is it you, the farmer? I get what you're saying. That's very good. I like that very much, actually. But I guess what
Anything
I'm
that helps you bring up Drake is gonna help the
you like
situation, I
that?
feel like.
There's a
Yeah.
really is a Drake bar for everything, by the way. Even though I haven't listened too much to his new albums. Um, you know what it is too? Because I'm with you. Like, you want to be in a relationship, doing shit that you don't want to do. You better get really comfortable with that. Become very familiar with doing shit you don't want to do.
Mm-mm.
If
Like
you
your
want to
nature
be in a,
walks.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you a perfect example. If my wife still wants to do this, right? This is gonna go out on Monday, so you're hearing past Matt talk to you on Saturday, May 23rd. My wife wants to go to this place called Diablo Lake in Washington, right? It's 2 hours each way. She's probably
Driving or
gonna wanna
walking?
go driving, okay? Then you walk up a little trailhead to get to the actual lake. My wife doesn't like to hike. She doesn't do that. I got 2 kids that don't like to hike. I don't like to hike, but I'm gonna do it because she wants to do it so she can go there for, like, an hour and a half and take a bunch of fancy pictures and post them. I don't wanna do any of that. I'm gonna waste my whole day doing that. Right? Like, Imma keep it a
That's
stack. It's
hilarious.
not really something I wanna do, but I'm gonna do it because I love my wife. So, I guess that's really
So
the
you're
point,
putting the
right?
effort in. That's my point.
Yeah,
You're
I
still
agree with you,
continuously
like,
putting the effort.
in fact, the effort as you go on, I wouldn't say it ramps up, but it just becomes more second nature. It just becomes more inwoven in the fabric of who you are, because now you're living I wanna say living to please this person, but you're living part of your happiness is that person's happiness.
Facts, facts.
You know what I mean?
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Cause I don't, I was there at the beginning when you met your wife, and
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
don't recall you taking nature walks at the beginning.
Bro, like, I don't we moved to Washington and this fucking she got, like, a nature binge, you know? She became like a
But you
nature
adjusted.
addict.
You ramped up your
Yeah.
effort because that wasn't a thing before. So it's not like you put in the effort of like, hey, let's go for a walk. Now, granted, she wasn't as enthusiastic about it as she is now, but you didn't do that at the beginning.
Hell no. In fact, if I knew that at the beginning, I might not be like, "You know what? I don't this ain't for me."
Wow.
Because here's the thing, man. here's the thing. Okay. Just a little tangent. Oh, obviously, the Pacific Northwest is beautiful, right? Absolutely gorgeous. Tons of campgrounds. And so I work with a lot of people that grew up in the Pacific Northwest. And that's what they want to do. Like, if it's Memorial Day weekend, they're like, hey, what do you got plans? Yeah, we're going to go to this campsite, yada, yada. And I remember we was having a conversation, it was probably about a year ago, where people were talking about, their favorite camp spots and stuff like that. And then, I was quiet the whole time. People like, man, like, have you found any spot? You guys have been up here for a while. At that time, we were up in Washington for 2 years. So, you kind of get to know places. And I was like, no, I don't camp. And like, what? Like, you have to camp. You're here. That's part of the experience. And I was like, no, I ain't camping. And they're like, why not? I was like, listen, you think I'm going to pay rent and then I'm going to go pay to sleep outside? Think about that logically. Tell me if that makes sense. I paid $2,000 a month to live in this apartment, and now I'm gonna go pay to sleep outside where it's cold and there's bugs and it's wet. Why the fuck would I do that? I don't know.
Hey, so let me
throwing
try
that out
to
there.
reel this back in a little bit, right? So
I just want to throw that out there. Shout out to all my campers though.
yeah, so you're not camping.
Not camping.
When you first said that, the first thought in my mind was you in the tent and a bear pulling up on you for some reason. I don't know why. I
Yeah,
have
that
no
bear's
clue on
getting
why.
fucked up.
I don't know. You ever see no, you didn't. I don't even know why I'm gonna go there. But there's a great bear scene, and the bear absolutely destroys its human. Easily. The bear ended
Well-
up losing. I think they both lost, now I think about it. But anyways,
Bear ended up losing.
well, he died. The bear
Oh.
died.
Jeez.
The guy.
Anyways, I just wanted to talk about that thing because I thought it was really interesting, that dynamic. And I love the way that you put it though, where it's like the effort doesn't necessarily need to go away. It just shows up in different ways.
Yeah.
And instead of being like these big acts, right? And you can still have them, right? They're still there. They come up. But it's more of now it's a day-to-day kind of deal, right? It's smaller things, right? It's, if
Correct.
somebody said they were going to do something and you're like, you know what? I got spare time. I'll take care of that chore so they don't have to do it when they come home, right? Like I finished work early. I got some extra time. I'll cook tonight so they don't have to cook. I'll take out the trash because I got, it becomes these smaller things now instead of being the box of chocolates because that really wears off, bro. Like the box of chocolates, you're like, oh, that's great. Now I find myself getting a box of chocolates because I fucked up. Where it's like, you know what?
Well, no,
there's two things. Pave it over.
There's two things I want to say. One is I feel like you're throwing like little shots. Like, sometimes I get to alternate in two different things where I'm taking the trash out every night. I'm doing the dishes every night. I'm cooking every night because I don't have no one to split those up with. So I think you're throwing shots, but it's all right.
I'm not throwing no shots. By the way, my guy, I throw away the trash every night. I cook every night. My wife doesn't do those things.
The chocolate is good. Now they're putting on extra weight. Now you're like, oh, I'm falling out. Like, yeah, you're not attractive anymore. Or you could be like, you know what? Put on some pounds. Let's go on a 7-mile walk around Norwich and try to lose some of this. Now you got another activity to do together.
Bug. Absolutely bug. No, I just thought that was interesting that came up and I wanted to bring it up. But moral of the story is put it, like you said, just let that become part of your fabric if you want to be in relationships or just being a good friend, right? Like effort looks different as it evolves, especially as you get to learn the person, right? I feel like the chocolates and the flowers might be a little bit more of a generic, and it's always a good thing every so often, but it can't be the only thing, especially as you get to learn somebody.
Real quick. Bro. So you know how we talked about like disc, right? And flexing your style.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually assessments for like love language.
You think those things are real?
Yeah. If you're honest.
I don't know if I buy that.
Why?
Love language? I don't know if I buy that.
It's a real thing. What makes you not buy into that?
Because you know how like some people's love, just so we're on the same page, right? The love language is like some people it's love language is gifts. Some is personal touch. Some is I don't really even know any of the other ones, right? Sharing bedtime stories. I don't fucking know what the rest. Pillow talk. I don't know. I feel like a healthy relationship has all of those things
No,
involved.
they do.
And I don't know if one
But some
thing
is more than the
hits.
other.
I don't know if one thing hits more than another though. You get what I'm saying? Like there's times where I do want a gift, right? And there's times where I just want to have a conversation. And there's times where I do want touch. And there's times where I don't. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
I agree with you. That's why they're all included. But there's more than likely you prefer one more than the other. There you go.
I'm looking it up now. Okay,
Now
so words of affirmation.
Now you're in a AOL chat asking age, sex, location.
Yeah, so I wonder if what ASL you think came first? Age, sex, location, or American Sign Language?
Age, sex, location for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, bro, deaf people have been around for centuries.
So as an age, sex, and location.
Yeah, but not in the IM. Yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine writing that shit, putting that in a bottle, and sending a messenger pigeon with that shit?
Yo, I don't know if it's because it's late here or I had a drink or two now, but I just imagine like medieval times and someone sending a note. Yeah.
Yo, Tinder back in the day used to be crazy. You want to talk about patience? Ain't no swipe right, swipe left. Dog, you gotta wait for them. You gotta wait for the messenger pigeon.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Yo, and that's when people handle shit like crazy. Like you trying to pull up on my girl. Now we gotta fight in front of the town
you gotta
square.
do a whole duel. What's that shit? Jousting. You gotta joust for it. Like crazy. That's wild.
Yo, imagine having a duel for your girl. That's crazy.
Talk about showing effort. How much more effort can you put in after that? Can you imagine that?
Can you imagine?
No, think about it. Think about what you just said, right? I just jousted for you. I just killed a man for you. How do I gotta prove more effort? Like, what are we doing? How many more men do I have to kill?
That just made me think about like the people that because how they used to give like, hey, for my daughter's hand in marriage, I'll give you like a donkey.
A donkey. A donkey is crazy.
Or like 3 elephants and 50 pounds of wheat or whatever. Yo, could you imagine getting traded for 50 loaves of wheat bread?
Yo, that is fucking horrible, bro.
Yo, fathers really give their daughters away for some Wonder Bread.
Yo, wheat bread is worse, bro.
And some Wonder Bread and some Country Crock spread.
Oh my god!
Yeah, imagine getting traded for that, son.
That's terrible.
But that's how they used to do business back in the day. Yo. I think they're right when they say this generation is soft. Yeah. Yeah, you had to live with that. You had to live with that. Yo, you try to fight that shit, you getting beheaded.
Yo, that's terrible.
This shit is hardcore.
Yo.
Anyways, 5 love languages. Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical touch. I feel like I want all those things. You know what I'm saying?
You do want all of those things. I never said you don't want them. You want more than the other, though.
But that changes. Because it's like, I want this one more now than I do later. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
But you said like, everybody has like a one key one.
Yes.
I don't know.
Take the assessment. Take the assessment. We're on here. I want to know.
I'm not taking the assessment. Ain't nobody need to know. Ain't nobody don't know how I love. Anyways, I'll tell you what. I told my wife, listen, I'll trade all my livestock for you. That's what I told her. I went to her dad. I was like, Pops, I could trade you 50 bags of rice. What we doing? Couple quick hitters that I wanted to talk about real quick before we ended the show.
That was good
First,
though.
I want
I hope you leave that in there. That was good.
I'm 100% leaving that in there.
50 pounds of wheat bread is wild.
Wild. 50 loaves. Shit is crazy. You know what the worst part is? It that everybody takes the crust off, so you're not even getting 50 whole slices of bread. So I was in Texas. And take my trip out there, and shout out to my mom. My mom met us out there, which was awesome. To have my mom out there, just her wisdom, being able to bounce ideas off of her was great. And so we was out to dinner one night, and it was just me, her, and the kids because Nona had gone out with one of her friends. She got a friend that live out there in the Frisco area. And my mom was like, so, we had toured the apartment. We locked in on what we wanted. We was like, this is great. We feel good. And she's like, so you feeling comfortable? She asked me. She was like, you feeling comfortable now, like with the decision and moving out here? I chuckled a little bit, and I was like, Mom, I'm never comfortable. I was like, I feel confident. I think that's the better word. I'm confident. And I feel more confident, especially now that we got everything locked in. But comfortable. I mean, there's a comfort in that confidence, right? There's a comfort in your faith that everything's gonna work out. So in that, there's comfort. But I told him, I'm not even comfortable here in Washington. I think the last time I was comfortable was really when I was living with my parents. Because the moment you become, and I shouldn't even be like the provider, because there's only one provider, right? I'm just here as a vessel that's being used to go out and work. Once you have that head of household responsibility, man, it's never comfortable, ever. Because there's just so much, there's just so much unknown, so much variability that it's like, I could only live day by day and just be grateful for what I got. And I'm confident in that, but that's where the comfort lies. It's not in the fact that the comfort's not in any situation that's going on. The comfort's not in the job that I have or the place that I live. It's not in any of that, So, I just wanted to call that out because I feel like there's a lot of people that are constantly searching to be comfortable. And man, once you become an adult, you start getting on, you have to get it for yourself. I'm not sure, if you'll ever be comfortable. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Or you can be confident.
It makes sense.
And maybe it's different for you.
No, I'm aligned with what you're saying. I just had a conversation with someone, and they're going through some difficult times as a whole, right? In their personal life, which starts to bleed into their work life, and they're new. So it's like you have to find that balance. It's not easy, and you don't have the answers. You don't. I can't even give you all the answers. You know what's going to give you the answers is yourself and the experience that you're going through it. You have to. It goes back to the one of the conversations we had recently with the young fella who he had difficult receiving feedback and then applying it, right? It's like,
yep,
that is meant for you. That's your test. You're not gonna, I can't give you all that, right? How many times have someone taken a training and I can't take this training because I'm more hands-on. I can't learn through the computer screen. So what do you learn from? You learn from the experience. You learn from being in that environment. So put yourself in that environment. It's very uncomfortable because you don't know how to maneuver through it. But that's what you need. You're going to make mistakes. Mistakes is going to happen. It's important. It needs to happen so that you can learn. And when you learn, you become confident, which now you're comfortable with that situation. So to tie that all in, that's exactly what you're saying. That confidence, but you're confident because you've been through it. You made that transition. You moved, right? You're a lot more, I can guarantee you, and I never asked you this, but I can guarantee you're more confident, which brings you comfort, with this transition than you were with your last one. Because the last one gave you that confidence.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, 100%. Definitely drawn from past experience, right? Going into it like we knew what kind of questions to ask that we didn't know the first time,
Mhm.
right? To ask, we had a better idea of like what really is an ideal place to live for our family, right? Now that we know, hey, this amount of space, what do we really need? Instead of trying to make it work, we could just go and seek what we know will work. Right. So totally 100% you draw from past experience. You know, you draw from the wisdom of people who've done it before you. If you have anybody, draw from them what they've done to try to emulate that. So I agree with you 100%. Um, but I just thought it was interesting because, you know, you hear a lot of people that's like they just want to be comfortable. I don't think you're ever going to find that C word, confidence. And like you said, you know, there's going to be a comfort in the confidence of like, I know I can do it. I know I can make it. I know I can overcome. And there's comfort in that. Not that I'm not going to fall down, not that I'm not going to mess up, but I know how to get up again kind of deal. I know that I could be better. So, um love that conversation. Another thing I wanted to talk about, and this maybe I should have covered a little bit early in the show, but because when we were talking about sports, but you know that saying in sports, like the situation will always find you when you're struggling with something, no matter what. They say a lot in baseball. Like no matter where you put a hitter, even if they're struggling, the big situation will always find them, no matter where you put them in the lineup. It'll be like, you know, you're down two and the bases are loaded and a base hit is going to tie the game. And if they hit a double, it'll clear the bases. And they could be batting first, they could be batting sixth, ninth, wherever. Same thing in basketball, right? Your shot could not be falling, but the big moment, you're going to be the one that's open. For whatever reason, that's just how sports tend to work. The ball's always going to find you.
Yeah.
And the reason I bring that up is because I heard something at church this past week that really stuck with me. And it's that past pains that you haven't resolved will always come back again. It'll always find you. It'll always find you in the situations that you're in. So I'll just give you an example. You know, if say you were in a relationship and you were done dirty, right? Like some, you know, whatever it was, you know, a friend double crossed you, you was in a romantic relationship, that person cheated on you, whatever it is. And let's say you're in a new relationship now and things are going really good, but you never made peace and forgave that person that crossed you. And so now you have these insecurities within you. Now everything is going good in that relationship and you're ready to take that next step. That's going to find you. That past hurt will find you because now you're kind of entering that territory where you were before. It's like, how much can I really open up? I don't want to be hurt again. That past pain is always going to find you. So I'm curious what your thoughts on that.
That's a great question or topic, I guess you could say. I agree. I mean, that's why people put up walls, right? Like they put up walls because of past trauma. How do you deal with that? I think me personally, my experience was therapy, understanding why that happened. I'm you know what's funny? You was talking about comfort, right? People seek that I don't seek comfort, I seek peace.
Mm,
Peace has to come within first though. So that's why like me dealing with that therapy, whatever the case, faith, I'm able to find that. So now that I have peace, I also understood I have to forgive. Not
yes.
saying that anything necessarily came, someone specifically did something to me that made me hold on to that. Although there was, right? Like I said, just to be clear, like my mom put me in uncomfortable positions that I held resentment, but I have peace with my mom. I'm building on that, right? Like that's something near and dear to me where I understood that I need to find peace with myself and our relationship to move
Hmm.
to move on, right? So, um, I agree. Like that will catch up to you at some point in time. It's
Right.
naturally because that's unhealed trauma. You have to heal,
Yes.
but to heal, you have to face it. So I don't
Yes.
run from that. I embrace it. I want that. because I know the outcome is gonna make me better and bring me the
Yep.
peace that I seek, right? So, um, I I actually, and I think that's another reason why when there's confrontation or there's conflict, I don't run from it. I approach it with respect, and hopefully, whoever the conflict is with, right, my mom or whoever, we can do that respectfully, so we can both
Yeah.
move forward in peace. We don't have to come to an agreement, right? We could agree to disagree if that's if that's what it needs to be. But absolutely, you have to, because the moment you don't and you hold on to that, you can never move forward.
Yes.
So who wants to live that way? You wanna live with that resentment, that anger, that hatred? You can't.
Yes.
You can't be whole.
Yep.
Um, I love that you brought that up because it's so easy for us to hold on to that. In fact, human nature is, oh, they did me dirty, I'm gonna do them dirty back.
Yeah.
And that's why I love a lot of the things that I'm getting involved with in my faith and in the Bible and the scriptures is like, you know, just do better. What what does
Yes.
what does hurting that person do for you? Does that bring joy? Does that bring excitement? Maybe to some people temporarily, but
In the
realistically,
moment, right?
that doesn't resolve your inner issues. It just
Right?
resolves surface level of what you went through,
Yes.
right? Like, oh, I hurt that person back. Where are we going? Right?
Yeah, facts.
That's why I told you, right? For the audience, like I called Matt and I told Matt, like, yo, spiritually, I'm at another phase, right? I'm nowhere near. Spiritually has helped me in so many other facets of my life where it's like I'm I'm good. Not comfortable, I'm
Yeah.
good knowing I'm going in the right direction, right? I know my
Yes.
path. Um, and I want to say this because this is the perfect platform. And when I was at church with my mom, the pastor was talking about being anointed, right? And even as the pastor, he's like, I'm not more anointed than you. I found my purpose. So it may seem like it's you, but I'm not. You have the same you have the same anointment as me. You can still do and say the things that I'm doing, and not necessarily preaching, but telling your story or your experience, kind of like what we talked about. Like, we're not here to change or just be like, hey, you need to do this. I'm here to share my experience. If that resonates with you, this is where you can find that. This is where you can find true love,
Mm, mhm.
right? This is where you can find hope and someone
Yes.
who really gives grace to the
Yep.
things that we've done. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because um kind of helped me with that segue with that last topic. So I appreciate that.
No, for sure, and I love that you brought that up. And it is it's real interesting because, when you suffer an injury, right? Just think to your physical body. If you don't heal it the right way, if you don't get it set up the right way, if you don't face it the right way and get the proper treatment, it doesn't heal the right way. So think about it. You break a bone, if you don't go to the doctor so he can set it back up, put it in a splint or a cast so it can grow back in line, it's gonna grow back, but it's not gonna grow back the right way. And so that's really what a lot of unforgiveness is. Like, if you try to move past and move on
Mm,
from a situation without forgiving, it's like trying
mm,
to put a Band-Aid on a wound that needs stitches. All you're doing is covering up. Because the thing is, right, the pain is never gonna fully heal, so the pain's gonna be there. The thing is, right, you're not gonna know that you're hurt there. And right, think about like when you have like a cut or something, right? You don't really notice it until something kind of brushes up against it, until that pressure point was touched. And in relationships, that happens, right? If I give that analogy I just gave, where someone cheated on you, and you was in this stage of the relationship, you was about to go serious, maybe you was about to move in together, and then you found out. Now you're in this great relationship. This new person is awesome, and you're getting ready, and that person's ready to make the commitment and move in together. But now they're rubbing against that old wound that never fully healed,
Mm.
that never healed the right way because you haven't moved on. And so now that pain is resurfacing again. You can't move past things without forgiving
You
because
know
you're
what
not
that
going to grow.
you know what I call that?
What do you call that?
Blocking your blessings.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because, right, if you're in a relationship and that happens to you, and now you put up this wall because you never faced or healed from that trauma, you're now blocking a potential blessing with someone who's willing to be faithful and take that next step with you. So,
Yes, sir.
my suggestion to those who are out there feeling that way is, you know, figure out how you can confront that. And not that don't necessarily mean the person, right? Because there's no need to necessarily confront the person. That's done with. So just confront it for you, because it's not for that person. It's for you. Why
Yeah.
continue to give that other person your time of day? They don't deserve it, right?
Mm.
That person doesn't deserve it. Some people do that, right? Because let's just say hypothetically, someone hurt you, right? And you're done with it. You kind of moved on. It still hurts inside because it's a memory or a feeling that gave you um, uncomfortability. And then that person randomly reaches out. And now that you could have potentially moved on, but not fully because it's still there. You never really confronted it, kind of like what we were talking about. Now it all comes back up and it sits with you. You can reply to that person or you cannot reply to that person. But now think about this, right? That person probably reached out because it's not sitting well with them because they know they did you wrong, they did you dirty, they hurt you. So that person now can't sleep or they're going through the motions knowing like, damn, I fucked up a good thing, a good person, I hurt that person. But you're not obligated to make that person feel better. You're obligated to make yourself come at peace with what had happened. How do you do that? Everybody's answer is different. I'm not the one to tell you how to do that because my path is different than your path. Your story is different than my story. But what I suggest is that you figure it out and find out some type of way for you to face that, overcome that, and then move forward so you don't block your blessings.
I love that. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, man. Like you said, it all starts with forgiveness though, because it does two things, right? Obviously it sets that person free, right? Because like you said, it could be weighing heavy on them, right? People grow, and that's what the hope is, right? That people learn and they grow and they come to realization, like, man, I fucked that up. And the thing is, and I don't think people realize this, and it takes a lot of humility to ask for forgiveness, to be like a genuine apology, like, yo, I fucked up, man. I made a mistake. I'm not asking to get the same access to you as I once had. I'm just asking if you could forgive me because it's eating at them clearly, right? And then it'll, like to your point, it'll always eat at you if you hold on to it. It'll always do. Like you said, you're just shackling yourself to that situation. Why do that to yourself? And I love that you said that because one thing, and we can end on this one is that I heard at church too is to be healed, you have to forgive, but it also includes forgiving yourself,
Mm.
which I feel like a lot of people don't do. Right?
Mhm.
You're the one who made a mistake and you ask
Mhm.
for forgiveness. And maybe that person forgives you, but it's still kind of eating at you. Like you said, it's like, damn, I fucked that up, man. I really messed that up. How do I know if I'll ever find something like that again? Right? Like you kind of go through those motions, whatever it might be. It doesn't need to be a relationship. It could be a job. It could be a friendship, right? And you gotta forgive yourself too. You gotta forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Of like, and but also you gotta learn from that too.
Just about to
Right.
say that.
You just can't forgive yourself and then go ahead and do it again. You got to be able to forgive yourself and be different the next time a situation like that comes up. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to call that out because there's a couple stages to that forgiveness. It's obviously asking for forgiveness or giving forgiveness. But then if you're the one who did wrong, making sure that forgiveness also includes yourself. But also, like
Yeah,
you said, I think you said off air, where it's like not just coming with a problem, but coming with a solution. And it's like, and here's how
yes,
I'm going to be better next time.
yes. It's the saying, I'm my worst critic. Or we are our worst critic. So it's easy to sulk in our actions or behaviors that may have caused damage to somebody, right? In human nature, you're like, all right, I fucked up. Terrible person, or I shouldn't have did that. And you just have all that burden on you. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. Because it's not doing anything for you or that person you may have hurt. And the longer you hold on to it, the harder it is to be the best version of yourself. And I hope that's your goal, right? Like you want to become a better version of yourself. I think you said it before a long time ago, where it's like, I just want to be better than who I was yesterday. But how can you do that if you're holding on to yesterday?
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's perfect, bro. I mean, and it's so true. And I would say this too. Like, you ask for forgiveness and say that person forgives you. If the person who you hurt forgives you, then why can't you forgive yourself?
Mhm.
Yes, I
Mhm.
understand you messed up, right? You messed up. That you soaking and living on it is not going to change the fact that you made a mistake. You
Mhm.
messed up.
You
But it will, like you said, it will paralyze you from
Mhm.
moving forward. It'll
Mhm.
stop you from moving forward. Cause like you said, blocking your own blessing. Cause you're like, nah, I can't do it. I'm just gonna mess this up again. I don't trust myself. How many times do you hear people say, oh, I don't trust myself to do that? Or even the people that are like, I'm not sure if you've ever had it, but there's always like those people that kind of like talk down about themselves. Well, even if it's like in joking, where it's like, well, I might need your help because I'm probably gonna mess this up. Ha ha ha. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Where or, it'd be just my luck if this happened or whatever. It's like, bro, speak positivity over yourself.
Mhm. I start
Speak
manifesting.
positivity.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're
sir.
manifesting that. Yeah.
Yes.
You
That's
know,
it.
yo, I I'm enjoying this conversation. I know you're trying to cut it, but we can figure this out.
No, keep going, bro. You good?
But there's a lot of times, especially lately, right? Well, throughout this year, where I've I had this anxiety, I had this worry, I had this stress of how am I gonna figure this out? What if this happens? What if this bill isn't paid? What if this relationship is not repaired? And that's why I'm where I am at spiritually is what's been so beneficial, bro. Because books, right? There's been books where it's like be in the now and stuff like that, and they help. Don't get me wrong, but like just that faith of like I'm good. It's okay. The worry, even you, right? When I called you when I was going through some shit, like, bro, you stressing is not changing the outcome. It doesn't change the outcome. Focus on you in the now. Be in the now. When that time comes, you approach it, you handle it. And whatever comes with that, you got to deal with that. It's almost like the whole forgiveness thing. You got to deal with it. You face it head on. That's why, like, I anticipate it, right? And I welcome it, knowing that this is okay. This is okay. I want it. I need this for whatever reason. I might not know the answer right now, but I know I need this because what comes out of this is a better version of Quan. So let's do this.
Wow. No, that's the right man. That's the right attitude to have, bro. We always talk about it, like, and you said it wasn't the beginning of the show. You said it was all a mindset thing, right?
Mm,
It's all about a mindset, and that's exactly the shift that happens, right? It's so easy to be like, get into that. What if this? What if that? What if this? Well, what if none of that happens? and
Mhm.
everything goes exactly how it's supposed to go. See, the thing is, there's that there's a saying, and I feel like so many people adopt this mindset where it's like hope for the best but prepare for the worst. And I feel like so many of us are taught that because that's kind of how life was, right? Whether it was growing up, whether that's, and just in a household where it's like, I could hope for this, but 99% chance this is what I'm going to get. This is how it's played off. I could
Mhm.
hope that, my mom's going to be waiting there. I'm not talking about myself. I'm just trying to, like, I can hope that my mom's going to be there to pick me up from the bus stop. Because if not, it's a 20-minute walk back home. Because she said she was going to be there. But chances are I'm going to have to walk my ass back home. And it's like that, right? And that's the life that a lot of people live, right? Change the scenario, change the people involved. Again, I'm not talking about myself. My mom never did that to me. Don't worry. Like, I just want to make sure I call that out. But I feel like that mindset is ingrained in so many of us. Instead of it being the other way around, like hope for the best, expect the best,
Mm.
and deal with whatever comes your way.
Mm.
Because to your point, exactly what's coming your way is exactly what needs to be at this moment and where you're at. And as long as you keep doing the right thing, the outcome is going to be better than what you could have ever expected, imagined, hoped for, asked for, whatever you think. That's just is what it is. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example, right? I had no clue this is where I was going to end up from a career perspective.
Mhm.
No clue. And I'm not doing this to pat myself on the back. I just want to give people a real life example, right? All I did, I got done dirty when I didn't get a specific position, even though I was qualified for it. Even though I was pretty much told it was yours, I just didn't get it because
Mhm.
I was going to church too much. And that was never
Mhm.
going to change. I could have complained, I probably would have won, right? But that wasn't the right thing to do. But that moment needed to come in my life. I needed that moment to come to be like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna trust what I've been taught. I'm gonna trust in that. I'm gonna keep my head down. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna stay focused. I'm gonna keep giving thanks, even though the situation is shitty at the moment,
Mhm.
because I know the situation ahead is gonna be better than what I wasn't given. I didn't know this is where I was gonna be, but here I am. I couldn't have pictured this. I couldn't have told you that. Now, if you would have asked me and that, like, Matt, do you think this is a possibility? Sure, anything is possible. But I'm not gonna put a limit on it. I'm just keep my head down, keep grinding, keep doing what's right. With an expectation, again, back to the confidence, that whatever's waiting for me on the other side of it is better than what's behind me.
Mm. You know, as you were speaking, Matt, I couldn't help but think about what you said a couple episodes back that really stuck with me and will continue, which is you can never do wrong by doing right. You can't. So do
Yes,
right, do
sir.
better.
Do right.
And I there's so much I want to talk about, and I know that we've probably overlapped our episode. You could even possibly cut this into two in case you
L-
miss another week because you want to
Yeah.
travel to Dallas and look for the best places to do a hike. But
Let it
uh,
fly, brother.
um, you know, when we're put in positions, because some people will challenge you like, "Oh, you should always be prepared for the worst because now you're prepared." Right? And that's fair. That's a fair assessment. But if you go back to what you're saying, you don't have to worry about that. Why worry about that? There's no need to. Because when the time comes, it comes. And I don't know how this came up recently, but it was talking about it was a reflection of a position that I had gone for. And I felt like I was the more qualified person. I didn't get it. And now looking back, I'm glad I didn't get it. And that position opened up again for me as an opportunity to go get. I don't even want it. And it's not because of what had happened to me. It's more so because I know that's not my path right now.
Yes.
right? Like I understand that. And to sum it up, right? Let me just try to summarize what I'm trying to say. Sometimes what we want isn't what we need, right? So I'll give you an example. I would say a good majority probably prays or wants more money or they
Yes.
want something else, right? And
Yes.
then it's not blessed upon us, right? It's not given to us. Our prayers aren't answered. But had it been, what would you do with that money? What would you do with that that's going to make you a better person? Are you going to go blow it on, my good friend Ken would say is coke and hookers? Or are you going to put it to something useful? I know that shit
Where
went
did that come from?
left real quick, but
Wow.
um, the
Wow.
point being is that's not what you need right now. You need to understand that that's not right for you now. And when that
Right.
moment comes, that's when that blessing will come.
Yeah.
So,
I love that you brought that back.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just love that you tied that, like, it'll come eventually deal.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's just that what we want. The point being is not what we want is not always what we need. Is my over is a summary, right? And there's reasons for that. We might not know the reason in the moment, but you'll find
Mhm.
out. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to find out some of the reasons why I'm still poor and broke. I'm just playing. I'm just
Well,
playing.
I'll say this, like, your prayers are always heard, and they're gonna be answered, but there's a right way of doing it, right? Like, to your point, and it's like, for example, if you like, man, if I'm rich, I'll do so much good. I'll go help people. I'll donate, right? Like, just make me rich. Well, let me ask you, what are you doing with the little you have right now? You say you're going to give. You don't give anything of what you got right now. And he's like, well, I don't have enough to give. That mentality will be with you even even if you were rich. It doesn't matter if you can't give a penny when you got $1. You won't give 100 when you have 1,000. You won't, because it's the same. The mentality hasn't changed.
Mm.
So that's all part of it. So that's one thing. And another thing I wanted to say, there's two quotes. One was, I'm not. Have you ever seen that interview? It's like with Kanye, and he's like, I'm not. He's like, I'm still right, just not right now. You know what I mean? That's what you were saying was kind of make me think of. But then there was another thing about when we were talking about, the situation of like preparing for the worst and that. Someone said it today. It was the first time I heard it. I thought it was so interesting because it's kind of like a worldly version of like you're gonna be good. And it was, you never know what worse luck your bad luck saved you from. So it's like, hey, people think, oh, I have such bad luck. My car didn't start today. So this happened. How do you know if your car not starting today didn't save you from a 10-car
Mm.
pile up? You don't know that.
Facts.
How many
Facts.
times have we seen that? Where it's like, man, I was supposed to. How many stories are that have we seen? For example, I'll give a famous one. Seth MacFarlane, the Family Guy, the writer of Family Guy, right? I believe it's him. He was supposed to be on the 9/11 flight, but he overslept. His bad luck of him oversleeping saved him from the worst luck of perishing in those
Yeah, yeah.
attacks.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's all about your mindset, like you said. You could be like, oh, prepare for the worst. Oh, woe is me. Or it's like, you know what? There's a reason why this happened. You have no idea what could have been waiting for you if things went according to your plan.
Mm.
Because you can only see this far ahead,
Mm.
barely. And we
Mm.
all know who can see, who has
Yeah.
everything written out
Yeah.
in the head. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Mhm.
it's all about your perspective.
I
And I
love
heard
that.
that quote. I'm like, that's a good quote.
I love that. I do. Although there's a lot of conspiracies behind the oversleeping
Yeah,
and all that. But
we won't get into all that. But
yeah, we won't do that. Cause I love how you phrase that whole situation. But yeah, man, I appreciate this. Good conversation.
Absolutely. I mean, just the entire we covered the entire kind of, I don't know, landscape of everything. We talked about basketball. It was nice to talk a little sports. We haven't done that in a little while on the show. It was nice to talk about putting your best foot forward and how you can continue to do so. It was great to talk about what we just talked about, right? Forgiveness, the right mindset. And of course, it was great to talk about medieval times and how you can just get challenged to a duel for your woman. Hopefully, nobody listens to this, and I'm sure this exists somewhere. You could probably do a Chat GPT. It's like, what would be my trade value if this was the 1500s or something? Hopefully, you don't go and do that. You'd probably be wildly disappointed when you find out that you're only
A
worth like
shilling. A shilling,
yeah,
yeah.
a shilling. You're worth like, a donkey. So
A donkey is crazy.
listen, donkeys used to be big value back in the day. Imagine those people walking through
It's
the in
not
the
it's
Middle
not the
East, hot
donkey
as
itself.
hot
I
as
think
fuck.
it's how you say it. A
I
donkey.
said only a donkey.
No, donkey. Donkey, donkey. Donkey? Donkey. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
Donkey? Donkey? What are you, Spanish? Donkey?
You're Spanish guy. Although everybody calls me Juan, I guess I
One. See?
Juan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Quan, my guy, Juan, my guy, I appreciate you. As always, appreciate everybody for tuning in. A little bit longer of an episode, but I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, think critically, speak infamously. It's love.
Love.